Good. How about you?
Fantabulous.
Who's this?
Becky.
Good morning.
Oh, what's up, Becky?
What?
Hey, Becky, Annie, how are you? It's Mike's on the call.
Hi, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
I'm good. I can't complain.
You getting any sleep yet, Mike?
Yeah, for the most part. My wife's been hooking me up because, she's off for the summer. She teaches, but she'll be back to school next week. So holler at me next week. Probably be a little different.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
you know what happens up here?
Huh?
Our women get 1 year mat leave.
You get 1 year?
1 year.
Oh, my God.
And Dad's also sharing it.
Wow.
It's one parent or the other.
That's pretty cool. Nice. All right, cool. It's 12 o'clock. It's actually 12:01. Let's get the call started. For those who are new to the call, oh, man, it's kind of windy. I got to find a good spot. Sorry for the wind. But for those who are new to the call, welcome to the call. We are building the greatest community of people developing the mindset to win. Because no matter what you go through on a daily basis, whether you're building a business, whether you're building your career, you're building a family, you're trying to find the love of your life, there's one thing that you must have, and that's the right mindset. And we're not just talking about thinking positive. We're talking about having gratitude for what you possess, having gratitude for the place that you're already in, having gratitude for the people who are already in your life, having gratitude for everything that you have in your possession. Right now, at this moment, when you start to have gratitude, you're supposed to be truly thankful for everything, you begin to open up your mind. Your arms will begin to open up. You won't be standing there with those folded arms anymore. You start to walk around with your arms open, ready to receive something better, ready to receive prosperity, ready to receive abundance when you begin to open up your mind. And it all starts with gratitude. So we started this call back in April 24th, 2013, with the mission to build the greatest community of people developing the mindset to win. We're right over our fourth month, and we're going strong. We're growing every single day. It's myself and Julian are on the call, and we also have other different callers chime in every now and then to make sure we're delivering you guys value. For those who are on the call and you're not an entrepreneur, that's okay. The information can be applied to anybody's life. I say that because 90% of the callers on this call are online entrepreneurs. We all make it our business to build businesses on the internet, to be able to build a life that is literally automatic, right? An income source that is automatic. We do something once, we put it out there into the marketplace, and it continues to work for us day in and day out. Oh my God, the wind is crazy. For the last couple of weeks, we've been working on a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Today, we're on the chapter called The Law of Priorities. Myself and Julian have, a few things crafted for you guys to get you guys, out there to prioritize your business as well as prioritize your life, because it's important. So many of us go out and we get busy. We get busy and we think we're accomplishing stuff. By the end of the day, we're just like, oh, wow, what a day. I got so much done. But you got so much done that wasn't relevant to getting results. That wasn't relevant to actually getting success. That wasn't relevant to boosting you to the next stage of your life, or the next stage of your business, or the next stage of your relationship. Nothing was relevant. You just was keeping yourself busy and pretty much avoiding the things that you should be doing. It's amazing how we go through life avoiding the things we should do, right? The things that actually are going to give us the most resources, the things that are going to give us the most impact on our lives. We actually avoid them because why? Because sometimes they can be fairly hard, maybe a little tedious, and so we avoid them, and we do 90 other things that aren't relevant to getting a goal. So today we're going to help you to prioritize that, okay? Get things in order. Really clear out the clutter and focus on what you need to focus on every single day in order for you to get results, and not just small results, to get, small results over time, which eventually going to get you to the what? Your dream, your vision, the reality that you truly want when you start to focus and prioritize your life and business. 12:05. 12:05, we usually kick the call off around 12:05. That's usually, our small little introduction, just, letting the newbies understand, who we are and what we're doing, and that we're happy that you're here. Jules, are you on the call yet, my friend?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
All right, cool deal. Let's rock and roll. So as I was saying, we did the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and today we're talking about the law of priorities. There's a few things in the book that kind of stuck out in the book, and there's a couple of questions that I think we should ask ourselves when we go into trying to prioritize things. That word, man. The first thing, you got to always ask yourself, what is required? Right? When you go into a relationship, you go into business, you go into a new major in school, or maybe you're even trying to climb the corporate ladder, you constantly have to ask yourself, what is required? Because when you know what's required, now you know what you need to focus on. Now you know what areas you need to start developing in order for you to get the goals that you want. And you keep asking yourself every single day, what's required, right? While you start to run out there and do all these different busy tasks and trying to keep yourself busy and have this whole illusion that you're actually doing things and getting results, stop and ask yourself, what is required? And compare it to what you're doing. If you compare that question to what you're doing and you are not in the right direction, you need to make some changes. You need to turn some things around and make some changes. Jules, do you have anything to add to that particular point?
No, you're right. You're spot on right there.
All right, cool deal. I'll keep going on, and I know Jules got something crafted for you guys. He got a few steps for you guys that you guys can take, so I'm kind of excited for that. I'm trying to rush him, as you can see, right? Number two, right? The second question you should always ask yourself is, what gives the greatest return? Right? What gives the greatest return? Is bouncing around online from social media to social media site giving me the best return? Right? Is chatting at the cooler at my office about 70% of the time giving me the best return? Right? Is gossiping about my neighbors giving me the best return? Right? Is spending my money in areas that are not generating any traffic to my business, is that my best return? Right? Constantly ask yourself, what's my best return? Focus on what's your best return. And we could be talking about monetary return. We could be talking about relationship returning, meaning about what's going to give me the most love back from my spouse or my significant other. Right? What's going to get me the best return when I'm sitting in class and listening to my professor? It's a little boring, but what's going to get me the best return? What points is he talking about that's going to give me the best return on the exam that I'm going to take in 2 weeks? What's the best return? Constantly focus on that. Because understand the best return is only about 20% of the things that we do. It's only about 20% of the things that we do is going to give us the best return. So those are the things we have to focus on as people, as business people, as as a significant others, as spouses. We have to focus on those areas that's going to give us the best return. We have to develop ourselves in those areas, and everything else, the other 80%, guess what? Somebody else can do it. Somebody else can do it. Because we're entrepreneurs, right? We're online marketers. We're trying to create this lifestyle that we're able to create income by simply working a few hours a day. You can't possibly do that when you're too busy focusing on 80% of the things that aren't giving you any return. We have to focus on the 20. And when you focus on the 20, you get the 20 done, now you can move on and enjoy your day. Right? Sometimes, like I do on a Tuesday, I'll go check out a movie in the middle of the day because I love the movies. I absolutely love the movies. And I like to go to the movies during the middle of the day because nobody's there. And I can just sit there in my vision, right? And I'm sitting there in my vision pretending that this is my multi-million-dollar mansion and I'm watching the movies by myself, right? Enjoying the movie, right? And I'm fueling my vision. I'm fueling my lifestyle by doing these things. I love it. It probably sounds crazy to you, but I absolutely love it. It helps to validate what I'm doing. Right? It helps me validate the work that I'm doing, the 20% of work that I'm doing every single day when I can go to the movies in the middle of the day and enjoy it when nobody's there, or at least a couple of the senior citizens that are getting the senior citizen discount in the middle of the day. Right? So what is your greatest return? Focus on that 20%. The third thing, right, that stuck out into the book, it said, what brings the greatest reward? What brings the greatest reward? Return and reward, they're a little bit different. Return could be monetary, right? Something monetary return, but reward is that vision. Reward is the dream. Okay, what brings the greatest reward? At the end of the day, what tasks are going to get you closer to the dream, closer to the vision, right? What's going to keep you on the trail on your mission, right? What brings the greatest reward? These 3 questions, when you start to ask yourself these 3 questions, every time you just find yourself too busy, and sometimes you might have to even drop the cell phone. Right? So many people call us for irrelevant things. Sometimes I don't purposely answer my phone unless it's my wife. I got to go home to my wife, right? So I'm going to pick up her calls. But anybody else, I usually let it go to voicemail. I let it go to voicemail. Why? Because I'm going to give them time to figure out what they need to figure out. I'm going to give them time to find the answer. Because if it's truly that important, they'll call me back a few times if it's really that important. If they call me one ringer, hey, guess what? They can figure out on their own. And some of these small things, these daily things that happen every single day take up too much of our time. So I purposely don't pick up the phone. Maybe I even turn it off at times. I got 2 cell phones, so my wife can catch me on the other cell phone that nobody else has the number to if she truly needs me to. Usually go to Walmart or something to pick up some stuff. You know what I mean? So you constantly got to prioritize things every single day of your life. And those 3 questions: what is required, what gives the greatest return, and what brings the greatest reward. And when we focus on these things, life is so much simpler because we're not running around with these huge checklists of things to do, irrelevant things to do all single day. We have this small checklist of the important things that are going to give us the best return, the best reward on a daily, consistent basis, guys. So if you definitely want to elevate your business, you want to elevate your productivity, it's not about doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's about doing what's important. You want to get more production, do a lot less. I'm telling you, focus on those things that are going to bring us best reward. Because once you start to get in the results, you start to get the rewards, you can use some of that monetary compensation to do what? Go hire some help. Get some help, right? I mean, guys, if you're new to online marketing, let me tell you something. Most of the marketers, right, who blog, a lot of us don't write out blogs. I hate writing. I'll be honest with you. I really do. Even though I'm going into this whole, I just brought this rules. I didn't buy the book. I actually took it off my shelf. It was from one of my literature classes back in college. I took it off the shelf. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep this book with me because I actually need to focus on become a better writer. But a lot of us don't write the blog posts because we focus so much and so long on what's important. Now that we have that monetary compensation to get somebody else to do it for us. Right? And that's one less thing I have to do. And guess what? That's actually one of the 20% of the things that I have to do, and somebody else is doing it. So that's cool. Now you have even more time and flexibility to do the things that you want to do in your life. We're at 12:14. I'm going to pull out Jules so he can give you guys the action steps that you can take today and tomorrow and forever to make sure that you're sticking to the 20% of the things that you need to do every single day.
Cool, man. Thanks, Mike. Hey, I wanted to touch back on the 3 questions that you asked yourself, and I was thinking about those questions last night, and I was thinking about what you said earlier in the week or last week, which was about the mission, the vision, and the strategy. Right? We talked about that earlier in the week. I think it was. Let me look through my notes here. I forgot what chapter it was. I was just looking at it.
I think that was Victory.
What's that?
It might have been Victory, I think.
Victory? It was like 14 or 13 or something. 13.
Okay.
Chapter 13,
okay.
The Law of the Picture.
Oh, the law of the picture. That's right.
Yep. And we had mission, purpose, why. We had vision, the picture, the what. We had strategy, the plan, the how. Right? You think about those 3 questions that Mike just asked you, which was, what is required? What's the vision? What is the greatest return? What's the strategy? What brings the greatest reward? What's the mission? Right? You tie those things together into what you're doing here. I mean, you can see how these chapters are tying themselves together. I mean, it's just amazing. And, Mike mentioned, what is the greatest return? One of the things that you guys are learning is that most of us as entrepreneurs, we focus on the 20% that is going to get us the greatest return. Why? Because that 80%, I mean, that's just busy work. Right? I was writing this thing out to myself last night. The difference between success and unsuccessful people are the ones that are successful work on what's important. The ones that are unsuccessful work on things that are busy work.
Mm.
So I want you guys to think about that. If you are trying to be successful in your business, you have to work on what is important. As long as you're doing the busy work, you're just being busy. You're not accomplishing tasks. You're not achieving victory. You're not getting the goals done, right? One of the things that us as entrepreneurs do and what we really capitalize on is our ability to be very effective and very efficient with our work and focusing on that 20%. And how do we do that? You know, there's a famous saying, kill two birds with one stone, right? When we do a task, not only is it the important task, but we're accomplishing multiple priorities, right? So you think about, well, I need to blog every day, and I need the video every day. So I'll do a video and embed it in my blog. Two birds, one stone, right? And the more effective you get with what you're doing and your priorities, and you get your priorities straight, right? I think I wrote this down to myself. I think a lot of you have heard this before, right? I know my dad has said this to me before. Son, you need to get your ish together, right? Or maybe you heard this one. Ooh, girl, you better get your ish together, right? AKA, get your priorities in order.
Yep.
Right? I know you guys have all heard that before, right? So I want to give you how to get your ish together, AKA live the law of priorities. When you guys master priorities, right, you master planning, that's when things really start to happen. That's when your success really starts to take off, right? And so it's really two steps. Two simple steps, right? The first one is, and we read about this and we've learned about this already, which is that vision step. Define your reality, right? Max Dupree says, first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. Make your own rules. Make your own vision. How are you going to live it, right? We just talked about it. The chapter 13, the law of the picture, right? What is the vision that you're living? Not the vision that you just created, but what are you living? Right? And the second step that you need to do is you got to have the plan, the strategy. Right? How many of you could email me right now, what is your plan for the next 1 year to 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years? What are your plans? Do you have them all written out? Because if you don't, how do you know what your goals are? How can you plan? If you can't plan, you can't strategize what your priorities are. Right? Because us as leaders, the law of priorities is something that we always have to be doing, right? It's our job to see into the future as leaders, right? And when you're talking about priorities, you are consistently, constantly thinking about the future, right? You are constantly thinking about the future. Why? Because you're achieving results means that you have to set new priorities. So what's the vision? Right? What are the goals? If you're looking at buying $1 million home and you're in an apartment, the likelihood that you're going to be moving into $1 million home in 30 days, very small. Possible, win the lotto, but very small. Right? But you can set a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year goals, right? Go from the apartment, get a townhome, from a townhome, you get a small, maybe 1,500, 2,000 square foot home. Right? By your 5 years, or maybe even less, depending on how much you hustle, right? This game is all about hustling. If you hustle, you can accomplish a lot in a very, very short amount of time, right? You focus on your priorities, two birds, one stone, right? You could be in 2 years, you could be in $1 million home. But if you're not setting up your plan, if you don't know what your priorities are, if you're not mastering those, it's going to be very difficult for you to know how to do that, right? You're going to have to be doing a lot of work, and you're going to be doing a lot of busy work, and you're not going to be able to get those types of things, right? So how do you do it? You got to have your plans out. If you master planning, you can master your priorities, right? Because you can see them all together. And I just want to give you one other tip here, which is once you figure out your plan, the next thing you got to do is get on your daily routine, right? Accomplish those 20%. Daily routine. If you're accomplishing the 20% of the daily routine every day, then, I mean, you guys are going to be in fantastic shape for achieving the vision, right? Mastering the strategy, right? Understanding the mission. So Hey, Mike, I want to bring you back out if you're still there. I want to get your take on kind of what about those tips and kind of the 2 steps.
Yep, I'm still here. I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was talking and sorry about that. Oh man. So I mean, very important, guys. I mean, those steps are. You need to know where you're going. Period. Okay. Even if you can't quite, see the road, right? You don't know the road, but you need to know at least where you're going. Once you really write that down and you get it instilled in your head exactly what you want, and when you speak about what you want, you can just get goosebumps, okay? Because you start to make it that real in your own mind, okay? And then when you start to make it that real in your own mind, and then all of a sudden you look to your right, you look to your left, wherever you place your daily steps, and you see those daily steps and you start to take action, okay? Every single day it's about visualization. You wake up. That's what the whole gratitude thing is about. You get up and you start visualizing, right? You start off with that gratitude about everything that you got going for yourself right now, and then you step into your vision about, being thankful for where you're going, right? And then all of a sudden you step into the vision of where you are, right? I am. You all of a sudden you're in your vision, right? And you're talking about things that you want in the present, and you start to really get these goosebumps all through your body, and then all of a sudden you said, you know what? Let's get busy. Let's do it. Let's take some action right now. Let me focus on my daily routine. Let me focus on these 20% of things that I need to do right now in this moment. Let me get them done, right? Let me go out there and deliver some value and then move forward after they're done. And once you start to realize how, more productive you get, you start to, your hours, depending on, your level of skill, everything, it starts about, your 20% could take 4 hours, and it drops down to 3 hours, and it drops down to 2 hours. And you're like, wow, I'm really working 2-3 hours a day and making a full-time living from home. That's a powerful thing. But first, you got to put down you got to figure out your priorities. What is required? What gives the greatest return? What brings the greatest reward? What is my plan? What's my vision? What daily steps I'm going to take to get there? And of course, there's always variables, because the better you get, the more things you learn, and your daily routine will change. Your 20% will change, and that's okay, because that's called growth. That's called expanding, right? That's called developing, right? That's called getting better. That's called stepping into your power, right? It's a magical thing, guys, and you guys are in the right place at the right time. When you prioritize what we do as online entrepreneurs, when you get it right, finally, and trust me, every up and down, every bump in the road, every bit of money you think you might be losing, everything right now in this moment that is happening to you is supposed to happen to you, because it's part of your mission. Because I know if you're on this call, you have a mission, and you're just looking for a couple of tips and tricks to make it materialize, and that's okay. But everything you're going through right now is for a reason, for a purpose. Hold on to all that pain. Use that pain. Use that pain to step into your power and get those daily routines done. Use that pain to dream bigger than you ever dreamed before. Use that pain to wake up in the morning full of gratitude, knowing that you're going to be in a better place sooner than later, right? Use that pain to change your life. The same thing that we think is keeping us down is the same thing that's going to elevate us to places people would have never imagined we could go. Because we decided not to sit in the pain. We decided to use the pain to catapult us to success, to catapult us to get results that we desire, to catapult and make our dream materialize. Right? Use that pain. Use everything you're going through right now. Start prioritizing, right? I hope I said that word right. I'm going to have to get me a book on speech soon. But start using that pain to do the things that you need to do in your life, guys. Man, everything, every emotion that you're feeling, it's all for a purpose, and it's all going to be helpful, right? Once you start to realize how helpful every emotion is, you're going to have gratitude for pain. You're going to have gratitude for anger, because you know what? Your body's telling you, your mind is telling you, your business is telling you, your personal finances is telling you, it is time for a change. Once you start to get those messages, and because you come to calls like these, you will begin to listen to those messages. You'll hear the messages and say, you know what? Let me make some adjustments right now. So many people who don't listen to personal development, self-development, right? Because it's not on their priority list, right? It's not on their priority list. So they don't listen to personal development. So when the body and mind is telling them it's time for a change, they don't hear the message. But you on this call right now, you're hearing the message. You're hearing the message. Somebody sent you here today because they wanted you to get into an environment of people with visions, with dreams, who are working at it every single day and who know with every fiber in their body that it will exist. It will be real. They sent you here to that environment today, right now in this moment. They probably offered you an opportunity of some sort. I don't know what that opportunity is, but whatever it is, I want you to go back to that person. Go back to that person today. As soon as you get off this phone and say, listen, I want in. What do you got going on? Because the people I talk to don't talk like that, right? That's what they're going to say to you. The people I hang around don't talk to me like that, right? We don't talk about stuff like that. We talk about Miley Cyrus, all right? We don't talk about stuff like this. We don't spend 30 minutes of our day hanging out with people who actually want to make their dreams materialize. I'm proud of everybody on this call because you got your priorities straight. You're here with us. And you're probably on other calls throughout the day, throughout the week, just building, learning, expanding, growing, just getting the job done. So I'm proud of everybody on this call. And if you're new to this call, you're not in any sort of opportunity, go back to the person that invited you to our call today, lock arms with them, and live out your dreams and travel the beaches of the world. This is Mike Williams, Julian Tang. You can text motivation to 7798. That's motivation to 7798. We look forward to seeing you here tomorrow, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to continue with the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. If you don't have the book, go to mindsettowin.com. That's mindsettowin.com. We'll see you guys on the internet. Peace. Later.
See ya. Fantastic day.
Yeah, take it easy.